Welcome to the Long Report. I'm your host, Chris Long, and in this episode, I took the show on the road to Lansing. I'm here with State Representative Tom Kunse. He's running for re-election in Michigan's 100th District. That's Mecosta, Osceola, and Clare County. His competition? That crazy, liberal, communist-supporting Democrat, TRR. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, follow, like, and share buttons. Anyway, roll the intro.
I'm setting my own clock.
Communist Party of China.
Red flags are everywhere.
You will be held accountable.
We're not Chinese owned.
They are not going to stop. They're not going to stop.
This is not a done deal.
If the door is that way. Thank the board for bringing us together.
And now the act you've all been waiting for.
Professional picketers.
And if you don't like it, there's the door.
Hello, and welcome to another Long Report. I'm Chris Long, and we kind of took the Long Report on the road. I'm here in Lansing with Representative Tom Kunse here tonight, this evening. What day is today?
Tuesday, May 7th.
May 7th, yes.
And welcome to Lansing.
Thank you. So tonight, if you didn't know, or you probably should know, maybe you were invited, there's a Gotion lobbyist thing going on 2 blocks over from here. Can you tell me about that? What's going on?
Yeah, welcome to Lansing. Yeah. So, Gotion, everybody has a lobbyist. Not just, you talk about Farm Bureau, and the teachers have a lobbyist, and, the corn growers have a lobbyist. And I met the potato farmers lobbyist last week. So everybody has a lobbyist. Well, Gotion has a lobbyist.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing wrong with that. These people want to get out and they want to spread their message. However, it's up to us to decide who we're going to take meetings with. So, yes, Gotion is hosting a dinner this evening. Right now,
or is it really Goshen's a lobbyist? I don't want to
through the lobbyist.
Yes,
correct. Yeah, they don't. I don't. Goshen's presence in Lansing is through a lobbying firm.
Yeah. And that's happening tonight. Were you invited?
I believe I was.
But you're not there. You're here with me. So, I appreciate that so much.
Glad to be here. and that's one of those, you are judged by the company you keep.
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody to think, well, I went out and broke bread with Gotion.
Yeah.
No. Now, if they want to meet, that's fine. I have a desk right here. Come on in. I'd be glad to meet with anybody. But no, I'm not going to go out for dinner.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think everybody out there in Big Rapids and the rest district.
There you go.
Out there appreciates that as well. Yeah. So you're obviously running again. Tell us about that.
Yeah, correct. So I get to run every even year. My term in the House of Representatives, it's 2 years.
Yep.
So every 2 years, which it seems like, boy, we just got here. Just got settled in, Wow.
How can you get anything done if you have to switch? You better get it done quickly in 2 years.
Correct. It used to be you could spend 6 years in the House and you could spend 8 years in the Senate. Now, there's 110 House of Representatives members and there's 38 Michigan senators. So obviously not everybody could transfer over to the Senate. So that was kind of like Proposition 2 last year changed it. In 2022.
Yeah.
It was not. Yeah. So Proposition.
It seems like last year.
Yeah, right. It
went by
like
so quickly.
Don't get old because the days go by quickly. So Proposition 2 in November of 2022 changed it to 12 years. So now you get 12 years in the Michigan legislature, and it doesn't matter if you do 8 in the House and 4 in the Senate. However you want to break it up, you get 12 years per lifetime. So it's not like I could run for 6 years and then take a break and run for 6. I could do 6. So
what was the limit before?
Well, it was 6 years in the House and 8 years in the Senate.
Yeah.
So it was 14, but you had to do that breakup, 6 and 8. And now they say you get 12. I don't care how you break it up.
But if you're going into federal government, then you can have unlimited. Make a whole career out of the dang thing.
Yep. There are no term limits on, and this is where I struggle. Everybody, the reelection rate is mid 90s, I think, for federal officials. And everybody says the same thing. Boy, we should have term limits. But I like my person. Well, and here we go. They get reelected. So, so I am actually running again.
Good.
We'll see. It's been exciting. It's been very enjoyable. There has been some, the travel is punitive and the personal attacks are relentless.
Oh, my gosh. Yes. I mean, you're getting attacked. I'm getting attacked. Right. I'm not even a politician, so I don't even know if some of the things are whatever. It is what it is.
But what are we told? We're told love your neighbor. Love your neighbor. And I think we could use some of that. That just doesn't seem to show through. So.
No, it does not. So what else is happening? What's happening? The last time we talked to you was in January.
Oh.
Have you gotten anything done since January? I know last year was kind of a pickle with the committees, wouldn't do anything.
We actually heard testimony.
Finally.
We actually heard So in March of 2023, we introduced some transparency bills. I think it was a slate of 11 or 12 bills, and those went to the House Ethics and Oversight Committee. I'm the Republican chair of the Ethics and Oversight Committee. Great. So I would, maybe it was naive, but I was optimistic that we were going to do something.
Yeah.
And I told the people, listen, if you don't like the bills, that's fine. Let's bring them in. And I'm thinking this Thomas Jefferson, we're going to have these debates. And if you don't like them, we'll make them better. I've never said I was the smartest person in the room. I've never said that. And you're going to think of something I never thought of. That's a great idea, Chris. Wow. So let's get these bills out. Let's debate them. Let's make them better. Let's send them up to the House and we'll vote on them.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I've told people, listen, if you don't want me to have this bill, they can literally change a comma. They can change a word and it's a different bill and they can steal it. That's fine. Take the bill. I don't need the win. I want the policy to happen. So take it and go. Well, they did that, as a matter of fact. So the good news is we actually heard testimony on a bill in the Ethics and Oversight Committee. Now, we didn't vote. So since January of 2023, we voted exactly 0 times. Right? Like, and here's one for you.
What is the root cause of that? Who is preventing you from hearing testimony and voting? The rest of the committee?
Well, it's not the rest of the committee. The chair decides the agenda.
Right, so that's you.
No. I'm the Republican chair.
Oh, my bad.
I'm the right. So it would be Chair Burns. Aaron Burns is the Democratic chair of the Ethics and Oversight Committee, and she determines agenda.
Because she's the majority.
She is the majority, right? Yeah. So we here's the funny story. I actually had a question. We had an Auditor General report on the Unemployment Insurance Agency, UIA, the most disliked agency in the state of Michigan. Yeah, terrible customer service. They lost $8 billion
magically,
right? And so the UIA director comes in and says, "Well, I don't want to talk about that. Let's look forward."
They just flat out told you that.
Sure, right. And that was her testimony. Let's not focus on the past. Let's look going forward. And of course,
what years was that during the COVID years that they missed it?
Yes. Right. And that would have been maybe May 1st. Was it? No, that would have been last week. So it's probably the 25th, April 25th. So we get this audit of this year, of 2024.
She, just a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Said, let's not look.
I don't want to talk about it. Right. Let's look forward. Well, and of course, my comment is, well, of course, if I lost $8 billion, I wouldn't want to talk about it either. Like, come on. Exactly.
Oh my!
It's surreal.
Wow.
Right. It's surreal.
Is that position appointed?
It is by the governor.
And did it change between?
Of course. This is the 4th one we've had in 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And here's the jewel of it. The former UIA director signed a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA. So
with who?
With Governor Whitmer. So
whoa.
Wait a minute. So not only we don't have subpoena power. We cannot call him in and say, well, what happened? Explain.
Why don't you have subpoena power?
Because he signed an NDA.
Oh, I see. Well, we can't.
Well, now here we go. Now this is legislation we're working on, right? Which law takes precedence?
So I thought in court. Well, obviously this is in court, but in court, NDAs are gray area.
I don't know.
Then how anybody could just sign an NDA and say,
correct.
You can't ask that question.
Well, let's look at now. You want to make it personal? Let's talk about Green Township.
Yeah.
Sign an NDA. I can't talk about it because they signed an NDA. So this is where I think, well-meaning people, they say,
well,
hey,
hold on. I don't want anyone to attack you. Supposedly the other side.
Too late.
The other side claims that no one on Green Township signed NDAs, but the county people did or somebody did. Okay. But anyway, I get what you're saying.
Great. And this is listen, these are salt of the earth. These are good people. I was on the Grant Township board. Now, when I say Grant Township, I mean Clare County.
Yeah.
So they had to ask me to run. Hey, we need a spot. I think I made $49 a month or $59 a month, because we had one meeting. Yeah, right.
You paid for a little bit of the gas. No, actually, in this economy, I don't think you'll even get a whole tank.
Right. Yeah, we didn't get coffee. We had to bring our own coffee. So, but again, it's one of these. This is not some high-powered political move. This is a township office in Clare, Michigan.
Yeah.
Come on, So when somebody shows up and says, hey, Chris, I got a great deal for you, but I can't tell you about it until you sign this NDA.
Red flags should be going up.
Red flags, right. If anything I've learned out of this deal, I'm never signing an NDA.
Yeah.
Well, now they're going to come in. They're going to try and put, if it ever happens, they'll put political pressure on me and say, well, we'd love to have this in your district. We'd love to tell Representative Kunse about this. But
we would also like to donate too.
Oh, but you need to sign it. So we're back to the UIA. Boy, we're jumping around.
Yeah.
Back to the Unemployment Insurance Agency. We can't call the former director in and say, what happened? How? And not even what happened. I don't care who's to blame. How can we prevent it from happening again?
Yeah.
We can't ask that question.
She just won't answer it.
No. Because I'm sorry, I signed an NDA. I can't talk about it. So this is
absurd.
Right, this is absurd. Come on.
Where's the transparency?
There's none. Zero. So you ask why we don't have transparency? Because the people don't want it. My first bill. So again, the legislature in Michigan is not subject to FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. That was my first bill in March of 23. The reason it hasn't moved, they don't want it to move. The party in the majority doesn't want it to move. So here's one for you, Chris. How many legislative, I want you to think of a number. It is now it is May 7th. Okay. The election is in November. The election is November 5th.
Yeah.
So from May 7th until November 5th, how many days will we be in session?
23.
How did you know that number?
I
That's
guessed
incredible.
Is it really?
Done. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
no, right. The number just came to me. I was like, just say 23.
Wow. You should play the lottery. So it's 6 months from now. It is literally 6 months from now.
And we're paying you guys to do this.
Right. And we will be in session 23
What they're doing
days.
is basically being paid to go and run the election.
Correct.
Go in and go out politicking like good old Chappie.
There you go. But here's where it's frustrating for me is that, back to the Ethics and Oversight Committee, we probably won't meet until after the November election. And again, we have not voted on anything. We have not voted on a resolution, a non-binding resolution, even to say, you know what, we should have more transparency. That's not binding, but let's just agree.
So everybody's been basically sitting ducks.
Correct. Right.
Or lame ducks. What is it called? What's the
lame
phrase?
duck?
Lame duck.
Lame duck. But it's frustrating for me because I think my opinion of people has not changed during my time in Lansing. I believe people are good people. I do believe that. But I get frustrated because they get down here, and the chair is a good person. I think Chair Aaron Burns is a good person. Well, stand up and say, you know what? On Thursday, we're going to have this committee hearing. We're going to vote on it, and we're going to send this bill to the floor. Why not do it? Stand up and be counted. So,
do you think that Whitmer has her tentacles out stopping people from doing things?
Absolutely. Governor Whitmer is running all three branches of the government right now. She tells the Senate what they're going to vote on. She tells the House what they're going to vote on, and they do it. Unbelievable. So there's no separation of power. This is where, let's talk about, and I need to be a little bit careful, Speaker Joe Tate, another good person. So here's a professional football player.
You need to be careful, just so everybody knows. He needs to be careful because if he says anything wrong, Joe Tate can remove you from committees, right?
Correct. We all serve at the pleasure of the speaker. But I'm not going to do that. I've never attacked Joe Tate. I think Joe Tate is a good person. He is the Democratic leader. He's the Speaker of the House. He's a Marine Corps officer. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at this guy's resume, Michigan State football, professional football, Marine Corps officer. He's the guy. Wow.
It always boggles my mind how the military people like that can go Democrat, but whatever.
Right. I don't understand that. But he takes orders. And this is the part I don't understand. Stand up. If I were the Speaker of the House, Governor Whitmer, I'm going to tell you no. just to prove to you that I can tell you no.
Yeah.
This is my house.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to come and talk to me and ask me about something and we'll work this out, we can do that.
Yeah.
But you don't get to come over here and tell me what to do.
Yeah.
This is
There's no separation.
Correct. There's no separation. So this is the first Democratic trifecta in 40 years.
Wow.
And they're running it. They have there is no backstop. There's no balance.
There's
in
no
Lansing.
accountability because and there's obviously never going to be any transparency with this like this
Right. Why
because
would
they're
they?
going to stop it.
This is
they
the
don't have
part-
to worry about ethics.
So here you did really well last time. You came up with 23. Well done. Well, in 6 months, I would have never guessed that. I thought you were going to say 100.
I did
Wow.
it.
Wow. Telepathy? Telepathy?
No.
How much money did Gretchen Whitmer raise last year in 2023 through dark money, meaning that she does not have to disclose her donors?
23 million.
Oh, there you okay. 13 million.
Okay. Oh,
13.
that was going to be the number.
That's
I was going to say. I was
come
going to say 9 to 15, but then I was
Okay.
like, let me see. Maybe it
Right.
matches
So
23 million.
here's why. When they come in and say, we need to get rid of dark money, we need to get we need to bring transparency to our elections, I kind of laugh. I do laugh. I'm like, there's no way the governor is going to let you do that when she raised $13 million last year and she doesn't have to disclose the donors.
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to give up that money. She's not going to give up that power.
Yeah.
So when you ask why we haven't moved on transparency, the money in politics.
Let's sidetrack for a moment here. Can you explain the dynamics for how we might have messed up when we tried replacing Whitmer and did the recall? Not recall, but when we tried replacing Whitmer, we petitioned, that allowed her to open up and get access. How is that possible? So,
campaign finance law in Michigan there's a lot of nuances to it. Now there are hard numbers. Right now, the committee to elect Tom Kunse, and this is not, I'm not soliciting funds on your report.
Yeah.
Anybody in the state house, the most they can accept from an individual is $1,225.
Right.
$1,225.
Yeah.
That's great. So if I go to all these people and, PACs can donate, political action committees can donate. But if I go to those people, now let's say somebody goes to and files a recall petition on me.
Yeah.
The cap is off. So now I can go back to all my people and say, Chris.
At all levels of government.
Yes. Now, of course, the governor, I don't know the contribution limits to the governor. Let's say it's $7,500, and I'm making that number up. I don't know if it's $10,000.
Yeah.
I don't know the number. It's off. You can get another $10,000. So what it did, first of all, the recall never had legs. It wasn't going to happen. A governor's never been recalled in the state of Michigan. It would have to be egregious and documented and clear, and it wasn't. So you can go and collect some signatures and say, you know what, I'm going to recall Chris Long. All right, well, go recall
They
Chris.
would definitely do that.
There
The
you
people
go.
on OTG would be doing that in a heartbeat.
There you go. Now, I think it's too late. You can't recall me. You can vote me out in November, but you can't recall me because it's the 6 months.
Yeah.
But in January of this year, if they would have said, we're going to recall Tom Kunse.
They could.
Okay. Well, then I can go back to all my people and say, oh my gosh, I'm getting recalled. Would you donate again?
And it opens
and it opens back up. So that's what she did. It wasn't it wasn't real. It was the Lions of 2015 playing the Cowboys.
Yeah.
It wasn't much of a competition.
But so do you think that we might have screwed ourselves by doing that?
Well, she was able to raise more money from it. Yes.
So what happened to that money afterward?
So like in 2022, she took a bunch of money from people that she didn't record. So they came in and said, hey, you can't have the money. So what does she do? She donates it to the Democrats. To the Democrats. Right. What's the penalty there? Because she donates
There's how we messed up everything. I'm thinking our root cause of a lot of problems right now is us doing that petition. We thought we were doing the right thing. Right. We didn't look at what possibly could be the outcomes. Right. And then any leftover money she spent on the races, she donated back to PACs, right?
Correct. She donated back to the Democratic Committee.
Oh.
Michigan Democratic Party, MDP.
Wow.
Right, and that goes right back to Democratic candidates. Well, that's all she was going to do. So again, people say, well, how can Governor Whitmer pressure a state representative? Well, she can go. She raised $13 million last year.
Yeah.
And she can come to you and say, Chris, listen, you're in a tight seat. You need help. You may not get elected. There's a lot of seats that are $500,000 seats. There's a couple that are $1 million seats. To win this campaign, you're going to need $1 million. Well, a state rep can't raise that on our own.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. But the governor can. Well, now the governor come in and can say, Chris, listen, I'm going to back you. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help you get reelected. But you got to work with me. And here's how they start to bend you. I need you to vote for this.
Do you think they're signing NDAs?
I don't know. Yeah, right. They don't. Yeah, campaign finance, they don't have to, but terrible. Yeah. So that was just one of those, and now the governor can bend you just a little bit. Yeah. I need you to vote for this. You're going to do this today. Well, pretty soon they own you.
And it becomes a dictatorship.
Welcome to Lansing. Wow. Welcome to Lansing, yeah. So the $1 million question, or the $13 million question is Governor Whitmer running for president in 2028?
I sure hope not.
I don't know.
Do we know who Biden's vice president will be? Did he officially say that Harris is moving forward?
I don't know that. I don't think he knows that.
Correct.
Right.
Well,
right.
Obama probably knows.
Yeah, there you go. He hasn't been told yet. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how it couldn't be Kamala Harris. How would you not? Now, here's a conspiracy for you. Sotomayor retires from the Supreme Court, and they appoint Kamala Harris to the Supreme Court.
She is a lawyer, yeah.
She is a lawyer. She's 55. She can be on there another 30 years. Now we look back at Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was not a team player. She wanted to stay. She wanted to stay.
Yeah.
Well, now all of a sudden you retired. She passed away.
Yeah.
Under a Republican Senate. Well, that means that the Republican president gets to pick. That's why we have a majority on the Supreme Court, is because they weren't team players. Had she retired a year earlier,
yeah,
they'd have one more Democrat and one less Republican on the Supreme Court.
Correct.
So interesting. A lot of moving parts. Parts. Yep.
Yes.
I don't even remember what the original question was.
I don't remember either. If she went to be the vice president, who does the attorney? That would be Dana Nessel.
No, the lieutenant governor.
Oh, yeah,
lieutenant
you're
governor.
right.
Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist would step up. Right. So, and that's all speculation. That's all speculation.
Obviously.
And even, she's governor through 2026. So maybe she finishes that off and then decides to run for, POTUS, president of the U.S. That's only 2 years in 28. So it's hard to say. I don't know. It's interesting right now. So let's talk about the 2024 elections.
Yes.
Can I bring that up? Can I ask questions?
Absolutely. In
2022, the top of the Republican ticket lost by 10.8 points. Let's call it 11 points.
Yeah.
Tudor Dixon lost to Gretchen Whitmer by 11 points. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right now, Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden by 4 points. And that's kind of an average of polls. You can say, well, no, the poll I saw was 3. The poll I saw was 6. I understand. So, I take a poll of polls. That's a 15-point swing. We went from 11 down to 4 up. That's a 15-point swing at the top of the ticket.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
We lost majority by a combined 1,400 votes.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, 15 points at the top of the ticket trickles down to more than 1,400 votes.
Right.
There are 4 Democratic Michigan representatives that are in districts that Donald Trump won in 2016 and he won in 2020. Well, they're as nervous as can be. They're going to lose.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is going to win your district, and he's going to help the Republicans across the finish line. So I really like our chances in 24. I like our chances to bring back.
I'm glad you're hopeful with this, because sometimes I'm a little nervous on what's going to happen.
I mean, and we're a lifetime away. We're 23 legislative days, but we're 6 months away from the election.
I think the big thing is people, the whole China COVID thing happened under Trump's leadership.
It did.
And then it hurt him.
Yes.
And people want to blame him. And so whatever anybody says happened, I think people wanted a change to get out of the COVID, but I think it only made it worse. And made the situation economy-wise. I mean, I want my $1.25 gas back, $1.50, whatever it was.
Right. What's the real number for inflation? I
don't think anybody knows at this point.
Exactly.
I know what my bank check or bank account says inflation is.
I know multiple people. So I'm 53 years old. my son graduated college. So my wife and I are empty nesters. Hey, let's move into a 1,200 square foot house.
Yeah.
You know, a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house that we can vacuum in 15 minutes. Man, that sounds great, you know, with a 6-car garage. You're saying?
Yeah.
It's 7% interest. Like, man, we're in a 2.5% interest rate now. So I don't see the interest rates coming back down. I don't know why there's no argument to unemployment is 3.9%. Inflation's not where it needs to be. There's no argument to lower the interest rates. So it comes back to inflation is here to stay.
Yeah.
You know, get used to. I want you to go talk to your dad. I want you to talk to your grandpa about, hey, what did you pay on your mortgage? And they're going to say, oh, I paid 9%. I paid 11%. You know, and now we're talking about, oh my gosh, I know a buddy that's paying 6.9%. Yeah, that's the new.
On my
normal.
house, I'm paying 2.9.
Well, good for you.
But I bought that back in Trump's economy.
Exactly. So what would it take you if you came up with a great deal? Hey, I got a great house for you, Chris. You can live on Horsehead Lake. Come on over.
Yeah.
And pay 8%.
No way.
Exactly.
Can't.
You know, so that is stifling the economy in ways that it's hard to, you can't even measure that. You can't measure all the
Do you
implications.
think we're
of that.
looking at another bubble coming up?
I have never been wrong for longer. Yes. Anybody that listens to me, and I hope again you get better financial advice from me. I have for 18 months I've said there's a correction coming. This is not sustainable.
Yeah.
You know, I look at the national debt. I look at the inverted bond yield. I look at the price to earnings ratio of the Dow Jones Industrial, and it keeps going up. Why is the Dow Jones going up? You know,
It doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense. They priced in 5 or 6 interest rate cuts. Well, now we're in May. They don't meet again until July. There's nothing coming until July. Now we're in the bottom half of the year and we're at 0. You know, you guys priced in 7 interest rate cuts. There might be 1 or 2. I mean, it's an election year.
Yeah.
You know, say what you want, but it is an election year. And the Fed is appointed. The Federal Reserve Bank is appointed. Well, you know they're getting pressure.
Yeah.
Hey, would you like to keep your job? Well, if I get reelected, you can keep your job.
Yeah.
Oh, it would help me.
They're kind of keeping everything held with duct tape right now to get through the election.
You know, the interesting point is I'm old enough. I remember waiting in line for gas in 1977. I remember the 2000. I remember the 2008 or 9. I don't know what the tipping point is here.
Well, I
It's got to
remember
be debt. The debt is unsustainable.
Yeah. I remember going through 2008 as a kid. Mm-hmm. And it hits the families
For sure.
bad. And the thing is I don't know about your generation. You mentioned the gas thing. I mean, obviously you've gone through everything I've gone through, but I just feel like my generation of people around 30 or less have just been kicked down, be on the floor, and we just keep getting kicked. I mean, I was in 2nd grade when 9/11 happened, and then a bunch of family members. The world that I remember before 9/11 is no longer that world. Okay, we went to school one day, and the world was one way, and we came home with all our parents taking us out of school, and here we are in basically a different world when we got out of school. And then we continue going to school for next 8 years while people are our family members, all that, going to war. And then 2008 happens, and people just bought houses and things are moving along, and then bam, get hit again. I know a lot of people lost their jobs. I know family members that have had to file bankruptcy, and I mean, it was bad. And then the problem is that was right when we were trying to get out of college, go into college within those years. And once you file bankruptcy, 7 years. So how is my generation supposed to get the support to go to college if the co-signers and all that would have filed bankruptcy? So our generation is so screwed up. And then COVID, finally we get into jobs and bam, COVID happens. We have been screwed over. We can't get a chance.
Right. Even my son graduated college last weekend. I don't mean to keep bringing that up. That was his first graduation. He didn't have a college or a high school graduation because it was COVID. You know, you could drive by and get your diploma. Come on. Don't take that away from these kids. But, you know, Chris, I keep looking at the debt. You know, at the end of the day, the debt comes, you have to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Well, it's $35 trillion. I'm 53. It's $35 trillion. About the time I retire, it's going to be 50 trillion, 55. Yeah. How do you repay $1 trillion?
I don't think you do.
You know, I mean, that's 1,000 billions. A billion is 1,000 millions. Holy, it's unfathomable. This number is incredible. And at some point, you know, so right now, all of the tax revenue, all of our income taxes goes to Medicaid, Medicare, and what was the third one? It's not even the military, right? So anything to run the government, we're borrowing. Where I'm going with this is we're borrowing it from you, your generation.
And I think further generations.
Correct.
I mean, my generations,
Correct.
I think we're already squeezed out everything you can get from our generation. Right. We're never going to be able to retire. I mean, you guys still, people joke around and say you guys will never be able to retire. No, I think you will. We will never be able to.
Anybody that, again, I used to tutor math at Clare High School, and I tell them, you can't count on Social Security. It's not going to be there for you. No. Don't count on it.
Yeah.
It's insolvent. There's no money. It's not like the money is sitting in the account. And by the way, look at the birth rate, not just in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
But it's going down. You know, we used to have 10 people.
I wouldn't want to raise a kid in this world.
Right. You wonder.
I don't know how you could.
So you asked if I think there's a bubble coming. Yes, there is a huge correction. To the people listening, get out of debt. We're overdue. You know, the Great Reset is coming. So my wife and we've cut back again, I've never been wrong longer. So I've lost some upside potential. I have $0 in the stock market. It's not sustainable. So we are trying to get out of every debt. I don't want a mortgage. I don't want a car payment. I want to get out of debt.
Yeah.
So when it comes, we can live as cheaply as possible.
Yeah.
So who knows? A year from now, we will be having this, and I'll say, boy, I'm wrong another year. So who knows? But
how much longer can we keep doing it, though?
Well, that's just it. It's not sustainable. You know, look at credit card debt. Look at auto defaults. They're ramping up like a hockey stick. They're going up. You know, of course, student loans. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. This is the part. You know, I go to my Democratic colleagues and I say, wait a minute. So you're telling me that a 7-year-old can choose their gender? All right, let's go right into the weeds. Come on, it's late. You're telling me that a 7-year-old can choose their gender, but a 19-year-old doesn't understand they're signing a loan.
No, they don't.
Right. So I have come on, you have a loan, you went to college, you pay it back.
Yeah.
That's how this works.
Yeah, I agree.
And people talk, they're going to forgive it. They're not going to forgive it. That just, you know, people talk, it's a grant, it's government money. It's all taxpayer money.
That's the thing. People think it's government.
There ain't no free.
Exactly. Nobody understands. People don't understand how taxes work and where the government money and the free lunches and this and that. And I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy. So I agree with you. You know, I have 2 kids in your generation. What do? You know, you have to be an optimist. I believe you have to be an optimist, and you work hard and good things are going to happen, but don't count on Social Security. It's not going to be there.
Yeah.
And don't go leveraging because I don't know. I've never been wrong longer, but I think a correction is coming.
I believe so too.
This is not financial advice.
Yes, correct.
Past returns do not indicate future. Yeah. No.
What about the illegal immigrants? What do you have to say about that?
You know, I don't understand how we can have a country without having a border. So this is not, Governor Whitmer does this relocation, the $500 a month. She goes, hey, these people are coming in. So here's how it works.
Wait. So Whitmer is paying illegals $500. Yes. Really?
Yes.
When did this happen?
A month ago.
Really? Mm-hmm. Holy crap, I did not know that.
Right. And this is not humanitarian. So someone crosses the border illegally and they understand the legal loophole is to say, I'm declaring amnesty. Amnesty, that's the key. You have to say amnesty. Well, now the United States of America says, well, we're not going to deport you because maybe you're being persecuted in your home country. So why don't you stay here and we'll review this case? Well, there's such a backlog in case. Welcome to the federal government. Court dates are being assigned 6 and 8 years in the future. So they release you. Now, Chris Long crosses the border from Canada. You're a legal immigrant from Alberta. And you say, I'm being persecuted. And they say, all right, Chris,
What's the definition for persecuted legal in this case?
if you declare it,
Just simply,
I say I'm being persecuted.
wow.
No.
Can I do that in any other country?
No. Yeah, I'd like you to go to Canada or go to Mexico and ask for free stuff. Right, right. So they come in, and I still call them illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
My point is, I'm not saying we shouldn't have immigration. I'm saying you need to come through the door, not through the window.
Correct. I mean, the United States of America wouldn't exist without immigration.
Correct.
But you have to do it legally, or you can't sustain. And was this whole $500 a month thing from Whitmer in the news? Because I don't remember. How did I miss it?
Let me get you the bill. And so she is offering, if you want to house illegal
It was
immigrants.
passed.
Yes. No, she declared it. This comes out of the Department of Health and Human Services budget. So
What?
It didn't go through the legislature. No, she can declare, we will pay $500 a month if you house an illegal immigrant.
When you say housed, so she'll pay me $500?
Yes, correct. Congratulations. And I, of course, I couldn't pass up a chance like that.
For each or family?
For each.
Each.
Right.
So a family of 4.
2,000.
Is there a limit?
I don't know.
We might have to build some houses on
Oh,
their
there
property.
you go. Because there's a housing surplus. My
kidding.
comment was, I will house exactly as many as the governor takes in the governor's mansion.
Yeah.
Gretchen Whitmer, Governor Whitmer, excuse me, I don't mean to be flippant.
That's a safety concern.
Right. So there, this comes in. I'm not saying no to immigration.
Yeah.
The United States takes in more immigrants than any country in the world, but I'm saying you have to do it legally. We have procedures. You have to do it legally.
Wow.
So, and now they come in. They actually protested at the Capitol last week. We demand driver's licenses.
What?
Driver's licenses for illegal immigrants. Well, now, wait a minute. What was your driving record before? Have you taken driver's education? If a 16-year-old shows up and says, you know what, I demand a driver's license. Well, here are the steps that you need to take. Driving is a privilege. It's not a right.
Yes.
Show me where you have the right to drive in the Constitution.
Right.
It is a privilege to use our roads. And if you make enough mistakes, we will take your driver's license from you.
Yeah.
You can do this. So it is a privilege to drive. This is not an inalienable right. Now they show up and they want driver's licenses. Well, wait a minute. Now, what's the next step to voting?
Yeah.
That's the slippery
next step.
slope.
Yeah.
Right.
How many people are going to get by with the driver's license and then vote?
Right. To show up, well, I have a water bill, I have a driver's license. What more do you need?
Yeah.
So to me, I don't know. I don't understand it.
Whoa, that was a big lightning strike. Holy crap. Right now at night, or in this evening, I don't know what time it is, but there's a storm. That was, it was straight on Ottawa, right past us. That was a huge one. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's all right. So that's the frustrating part for me is we talk about, Michigan's not when they say border state, they think Texas, they think Arizona. I mean, yes, I know that Michigan, we can drive south out of Detroit into Canada. I understand Michigan is a border with Canada.
Yeah.
I don't think the Canucks are running the border. We'd be better at hockey if they did. Yeah. Where it gets frustrating with me is, well, now we have this issue. Now, wait a minute. How? No, I don't accept this. So I don't think there's any, let's go right into politics. I don't know how much time we have left. I've endorsed Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I looked at, and to me, it was an easy decision.
Absolutely. Look at the world we're in right now.
Correct.
Look at where we were in 2019 prior to the COVID situation, and look at where we're at now.
Right.
It's simple.
Right. And to me, I look at it, and on this issue alone, on the southern border alone, Donald Trump is going to be president. We need to secure our borders. And I'm not saying no to immigration, but I'm saying we need to follow the rules.
Yeah.
So,
and Biden's preventing them from doing their job.
He's stopping Governor Abbott in Texas from enforcing his border.
Yeah.
So that's, which I don't understand how that can be legal. So
no,
I think state sovereignty comes over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. This is one of the times in Lansing where, you got to rub your brows a little bit and you think, what are we doing? How can someone, what do you do?
Yeah.
So,
All right.
So, illegal immigrants. I don't believe, I think we're going to take back the House. I give that a very high probability.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, me too.
We're going to be pushing out where we're at.
We need balance in Lansing. We need balance in Lansing. And that's what America is. America is balance. Tell me what you're thinking. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. Neither of us gets everything we want. Let's meet in the middle. Well, there's no middle right now.
Yep.
The middle is how far left can you go?
Yes.
How progressive can it be? So I really like our chances in November. But what that means is after the election, now that's lame duck. Yeah. So here's going to be 6 or 7 or 8 Democrats that are not coming back. The gloves are off. They have no reason to be civil. They're going to pass the most outlandish. Maybe this is when it gets passed. There's no way they'll pass driver's license for illegal immigrants before the election because they know it's a terrible policy.
Yeah.
After the election, they're going to say, listen, we haven't been in the majority in 40 years. It might be another 40 years. Well, the lifespan, the memory of the voter is too short.
Yeah. Everyone forgets everything that is. Well, it seems they forgot everything that happened 3 years ago now.
Right. I look at, wait a minute, it was Governor Whitmer that said you can't buy seeds.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go through the COVID shutdown.
Yes.
But what's amazing is she has a 62% approval rating.
Well,
it boggles my mind.
Yeah. I don't know where she's getting it from.
I don't know. Well,
all the big cities.
Not in Mecosta, not in Osceola, not in Lake.
Yeah.
So what do you do there? But yeah, the big cities. So
yeah.
But I think, and that's where my district, we have that flair of independence.
Yeah.
We have that, hey, we'll solve our problems on our own. I don't need you to come here from Lansing. It was kind of my, I don't know. I never wanted to have a campaign slogan because it always seemed contrived. It always seemed like, oh, you sat around and had 3 Miller Lights and came up with a campaign slogan. I tell people, I'm going to Lansing, so Lansing doesn't come here.
Yeah.
Keep the government out of my life.
Yes.
There's a loan bill coming up. I think,
what does it do?
It caps the interest rate on loans. Now in theory, you think, well, gosh, maybe these payday lenders.
Yeah.
Payday lenders. So if you come to me and say, hey, I need to borrow $100. All right, Chris. I'll loan you $100. You pay me back 110 in a week. Well, they're saying, oh my gosh, that's 10% in a week. On a year, that'd be a 500% interest rate.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it and think, wait a minute, I'm loaning a guy $100. I can't do the paperwork for $10, know, and if I lose my 100, if Chris moves out of town, I never see him again. How am I going to get my $100 back?
Well, the whole payday lenders are just a scam, in my opinion.
Sure.
They're taking advantage of poor people.
Where I come back to is it should be your decision if you want to do it or not. I think we should teach financial literacy in high school. We
need to, yes.
I used to tutor.
Stop teaching DEI and start teaching financial literacy.
Right. And we have
show them how to do taxes.
Right. Who's this FICA guy? How do you get to my paycheck?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a math guy. That's what I used to tutor in high school. I would much rather have financial literacy than algebra 2.
I fully agree with that.
Here's where you go. Here's where the budget is. Here's taxes. Here's how much it's going to be.
Or even calculus. They don't need calculus.
Right. If you want to, that should be an elective.
Yeah.
Financial literacy is required.
It's required.
Calculus is an elective. Yeah. So do that. I'm going to defend calculus because I think that's really cool. But
okay. Well, only a small portion of people will actually use it.
Right. Make some nerd joke.
And the rest of us will just use the computer to solve it for us.
Correct. Yeah. Type it into Google. Uh-huh. So where it comes back is there's nobody that knows your personal finances better than you.
Yeah.
So, Ronald Reagan's famous line when he said, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
It is a scary 7 words. What is that?
9, yeah. And it comes back like the septic bill. They want to inspect every septic system every 5 years. Why? What are we doing? If there's not a problem.
My septic, I don't think I think the time it was last inspected was when I sold my house. There's been no problems.
Right. And this is my point. Without
we would have to fund that. We would have to pay for it.
Yes, absolutely.
Would we pay for it or taxes? Well, either one. It's us. But
right. So it's a $500 fee every 5 years.
Well,
so you would
pay that.
Right. What county do you live in?
Mecosta.
So right now, if the Mecosta County Health Department comes and knocks on your door and says, Chris, your septic is leaking into this stream or this ditch or it's not meeting the requirements. Right now, the health department has the authority to say, Chris, you must comply with the health code.
Understood.
Fix your septic system. Great.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Of course, they have the authority. And this is one of those situations where what problem are we solving? Why are you coming from Lansing? Why are you coming to inspect my system? There's no problem with it. Again, I said earlier.
It's almost like on an edge of unwarranted search warrants, like unwarranted searches to find a problem
to find a problem. And again, what they believe, I'm from the government, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, get out of my life. There's no problem. I just said, my kids moved out. So it's my wife and I in the house. I'm in Lansing 3 days a week. We, oh my gosh, we use a third of the water we used to use. My septics are going to last another 20 years.
Yeah. That's just me.
Right. Old retired couple. Here we go. And I just think, come on, I started asking questions. Well, if you show up to somebody's house and their septic doesn't pass, well, now what?
Yeah. Who pays it then?
Correct.
Everything was working just fine.
Are we going to ask?
Who makes the rules for it to pass?
They do. It'd be in the legislature. My question is, well, wait a minute. Maybe, if I'm in Clare County, let's say I'm in Harrison, Michigan, it is the prettiest sand.
Yeah.
That's why the pine trees used to grow there, because it's all sand. Yeah. It's sand, versus I'm in southern Mecosta County and it's clay.
Yeah.
Well, of course, there are going to be different septic systems. And that's why we have county health departments.
Yeah.
Because they come out and they look at your piece of property.
Local.
There you go. Hey, you're going to build a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. Here's how big a septic you need.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. You're going to build a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house. Here's the size septic you need.
Or what about the people who bought houses back in 1972 and it's fine for that time, and the state comes in and says, "Oh, I need a whole new septic just because."
Because the new code says.
Yeah.
Right. And this was my point to them. Wait a minute. Are you expecting our sheriff to go put a red sticker on the? Do you want me to go up and knock on their door and say, "Chris, you can no longer flush the toilet"? And you're going to say, "Wait a minute, my septic is fine. There's no problem with it." I know, but it's it didn't pass inspection. Well, what's the problem? Well, it's 20 years old. So what? My parents live in a farmhouse that's 100 years old. I have no idea how old the septic is. They're 82 and 84, and their septic works just fine.
Yeah.
So this is Lansing. I don't believe
they're trying to solve problems that don't need to be solved
because they want to do something.
Is that really what it is? They want to be known for
something.
They want to just do something.
Do something, right? So I believe there is, you can say, well, it's a Republican, Democrat, it's a red, blue. No, I believe there is a party that wants local control, and I believe there is a party that wants everything consolidated in Lansing. We will tell you the septic code for the state of Michigan. And I'm thinking, well, why? The Mecosta County Health Department is doing just fine. And the Clare County Health Department is doing just fine. And they have that authority.
They want to try to consolidate everything. Which that is a whole direction that could get out of hand.
Right. I always tell people, if you don't want politicians to abuse power, then don't give them power.
Yeah.
Right? Government should be small, transparent, and local.
Yes.
Keep it local. Because then if you don't like it, we can vote them out.
Exactly.
We can recall them. We can do this. So I just don't like the consolidation idea. I don't like the decisions being made in Lansing. Keep it local. Yeah. Crazy days. So it's been good. So,
yes.
So I'm running again in 24. I'll be on the ballot in November.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes.
We're excited for that.
Thank
I know
you.
Pat Curry is excited. You were there this morning.
I was at Curry's this morning. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm not trying to put a plug in there. There was a really nice. Oh, well, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Curry's Amico. I do have a hat. I did join the hat club.
I joined the hat club too.
Outstanding. Now listen, I'm gonna pull one.
I got 2 hats.
Well, I'm going to pull one on you now.
Okay.
I went to St. Mary's Gala last year in 2023, and I bought a Curry's Amico coat.
Oh, yeah, I don't have one of those.
Pretty legit, but I had to pay for it.
Yeah.
But anyways, there. So today I was in Big Rapids this morning, and they put on a policeman's memorial, and they read the names of the officers who. I mean, you want to talk about they're heroes. They gave their life protecting us.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. So it was a really neat event. There were officers, there were state police, there was Ferris, there was City of Big Rapids, obviously county. I believe we had some federal people there too.
Wow.
And it was just hey, listen, I see you. Thank you. You guys do it tough. Could you imagine being a police officer today?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being a police officer
insane.
today. Right. Yeah.
Anything you try to do is just wrong in the eyes of a certain group of people.
Right. Yeah. I need you to be perfect every day in every way.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's a tough job. But anyways, it was a great event. The rain held off. So yeah, that was at on campus at Ferris. Glad to see that. So that's really, and they had the bagpipes and they played taps. I tell you what, I got a little teary eyed.
Wow.
I did. It was really moving. So good for them. So to the police officers out there, to our law enforcement officers, and not just the officers, but their families. Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys. And I don't wait a minute. Now hold on a second. I said the wrong word. You people. I don't want to say guys. So forgive me for that, because I know a lot of great female officers. But it's not just the officers that are missing the birthdays. It's the families that are covering for them. So everybody. You have law enforcement families, not law enforcement officers.
Yes.
So it was in Big Rapids. That was really, really a great event. So it's this week every year. This is Law Enforcement Week, Law Enforcement Appreciation Week. And so if you ever get the chance, it's open, it's free. Really good, really a great event.
That's great.
That was great. That's why I was in Big Rapids this morning.
I see.
Well, there you go.
All right.
Tomorrow, so we're back in Lansing. Now it's all appropriations. The budget, they want the budget done by middle of June.
Is it a little late?
No, it has to be done. They shouldn't say it has
for
to be
next
done.
year.
For next year.
Okay,
right.
I was going to say, what? No.
Right. So the fiscal year of the state of Michigan starts October 1st.
Oh.
So we like to have it done by June, the last day of June 30th. So then it can be. But it's one of those, I just don't know when they want it done by October 1st. It's going to be, again, we're looking at an $81 billion budget in the state of Michigan. But it just boggles my mind. You sit there and when we are in charge, I'd like the budget to sit for 48 hours or 72 hours, and everybody should get to look at it. This deal where we come up with a budget at 6 o'clock and we vote on it at 7 o'clock. Well, I can't read the summary of an $82 billion budget in an hour. I'm as good a reader as most, I'm average. You want me to, I can't. And I tell people, how can I possibly vote for this? I don't even know what's in it. An $82 billion budget. You got to give me a day at least to read the summary on this and see what's going on. So that's what we're working on now. I am hopeful, but we'll see. I'm hopeful that someday the Ethics and Oversight Committee does something. Someday we'll vote on something, that I was excited to be on that committee. I would have never thought that here we are, May of the second year, having done nothing. We have voted exactly 0 times. Unbelievable. So we'll see. Let's bring some balance back to Lansing.
Yes.
So, my email. Can I say my email?
Yeah, absolutely.
My email is Tom Kunse, Kunse. So it's TomKunse at house.mi.gov. So .gov. And I encourage people, every Friday I get on Facebook and I say, here's what I did. Here's how I voted. Yeah. Here's the bill. Here's if it passed or not. Here's what it does. And you want to talk about lead by example. Here's my transparency. Here's how I voted this week.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, tell me why you didn't like it. If there's a bill coming up, tell me what you think of it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I would say ignore the haters, ignore the certain group of people over there that just want to spread hate. They're just complaining. It doesn't matter what you do. So anyway, I think we're going to end the show. It's getting late.
How are we going to have here? I want you to think about this one. Are we going to have a candidate debate after the August primary?
Would you like one?
I'd love it. So listen, you want to talk about transparency? Here's who I am. Here's who I am. I mean, let's go. And here's where I stand on this issue. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about abortion, gun control, Gotion, taxes? We can talk about anything. And I think the voters, if I were king for the day, if I could wave a magic wand, I'd say, I want the voters to be well informed.
Yeah.
So go out. I'd love to have a couple of debates or even discuss. Let's have a panel. If you
after the primary, you want?
Yeah, let's get it down to the Democrat. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have one Democrat and myself. Tell me when and where, and I'll be there.
Okay.
So how's that for? And that I am not throwing down the leather glove. That's not a challenge, but I think we should. I think the voters want to be informed.
Okay.
There we go.
I'll see what we can do.
I like it. Tell them that. Well, that gives you something to work on. The primary is August, 5th or 6th?
Something like that.
I should know that. August 6th.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I know that because my next scheduled vacation day is August 7th.
Even though you're only going to be in the session, 23 days?
Right? And that's until November. Right?
So what do you do in all those off
So
days?
like today, I'm in district on Mondays and Fridays. So once we are adjourned from session until November, then I will go to Traverse City and help that representative get elected. I will go to Marquette. I will go all over the city. There are 10 seats that we are trying to flip.
I see.
10 seats right now that are Democrats, and I'm going to go knock on doors, downriver. I'm going to go knock on doors in St. Joe and Marquette and Traverse City and wherever we can win. We have to bring balance back to Lansing.
Yes.
So I'm going to go all out and say, we have, I wouldn't even call them competitive races. Isabella County, he'll be fine. Bay City, he'll be fine. But yeah, so we're looking to flip Democratic seats to Republicans to bring balance back to Lansing.
Great.
Yeah. So
we need it.
let me tell you this. First of all, thank you for coming down to Lansing.
Thank you for
This is
inviting
awesome.
me.
Yeah, it's a great view. I
is.
hope everybody gets to come down one day. Come visit me in Lansing.
Yeah,
The view
what
is
floor
worth
is this?
it.
We're pretty high up.
This is the 12th.
12th is this the top of the building?
No, that goes to the 14th.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I'm in the 100th district. This is the 100th district office, and it goes to 110. So 13th is 101 through 105, and 106 through 130. So offices are assigned by district number. So the higher the district, the higher the office.
Interesting.
Yep. So a little bit longer elevator ride, but the view is worth it.
Yeah, no, it is a very nice
The view is worth it. Yeah. So I'm going to call out Pat Curry. Tell Pat and Pete that you beat them down here. I keep telling them
They haven't come down here?
No, we got to do a radio show down here.
I can arrange that.
There we go. So anyways, Chris, thanks for coming down.
Thank you for inviting me.
Appreciate the trip.
I appreciate
this is awesome and always good to get out there. Anybody that has a contact or wants to contact me, please do. Love talking to the constituents. I'll answer any question that I can. Whatever I can do. I try and be absolutely available.
Awesome.
I
appreciate it.
God bless everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
This we call collaborating evidence.
They are not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop until they uncover every lie, every deception, every legal, every web, every immoral action. They are not going to stop. They're not going to stop.
Sir, if you are disorderly, the door is that way. I explained that last month.
There's the door. Thank the board for bringing us together.